What's up everybody, 40 the Broadway Saiyan here, and welcome back again to my YouTube channel, back with another video on Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. In today's video, I am continuing my The Art of series, and this time I'm going to be focusing on The Art of Ceodore, because Ceodore is going to be getting his C90, his rework, as well as the debut of his burst weapon alongside its BT Plus on Global Opera Omnia. Now, I know I'm a little bit early to this particular video, but a lot of people have been asking me on my streams and more recently on the fireside chat that we just hosted prior to me making this video about Ceodore, and you guys know how passionate I am about Final Fantasy IV in particular and how it is my favorite Final Fantasy. But because it is my favorite Final Fantasy, I also have to be objective when telling you guys about these characters. So for this specific The Art of series, we're talking about Ceodore. I'm going to be briefly summarizing what he's going to be getting with all his upgrades, and then giving you guys a summarization and also my thoughts on the character. Again, that way you guys will be well informed and you guys can formulate your own decision on whether or not this character is going to be invested in your roster or not. Now, don't forget guys, I don't go over nitty-gritty stuff anymore. There are fantastic content creators for that, as well as resources that I highly suggest you guys check out, with the links down below in the video description as well as the pinned comments. But without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about Ceodore. So before I do that, I am taking a Final Fantasy IV themed party here. Let's just go ahead and kick things off with Paladin Cecil, his daddy, Ceodore's daddy, with LD. And when we get to Ceodore's turn, that's when we're going to start talking about Ceodore. And then we're going to get his quote-unquote real daddy. I'm just kidding. He's Piccolo to Ceodore. And yeah, Kain has his burst effect, his burst plus in this, because he gets that way later, but we're just going to go ahead and use a skill 2 here just for the video's sake. Alright. Okay, so let's go ahead and touch up on Ceodore. So, brief overview, especially for those of you that might have forgotten what this character is all about. Ceodore is a hybrid holy DPS support unit. He has access to Holy Enchant and Imperil, healing and cleansing. He provides good auras and effects to the party, provided the party's HP is at a certain threshold. And he also has that Dark Knight type of an effect where he self-harms his own HP to further increase his own potencies. Now, to start things off, a general important rework that Ceodore is getting is that all of his additional positive effects to himself and to the party now activate when the party's HP is at least 50% or greater. Prior to this, it was at 100% or greater. So it's a lot easier to meet that requirement because it's now at 50% or greater. Starting off with his skill 1 in terms of skill reworks. So his skill 1, the awakened variant, because this is the one that you're going to be utilizing most of the time, is now dealing Holy Brave damage with 3 HP attacks and HP splash damage. It also has more total uses. This is now a button that is pretty cool to press, because before it wasn't nearly pressed as often as, for example, his HP attack plus or his transform Brave attack plus, but this is now a pretty decent skill to press. His skill 2 rework now increases the party's Brave gain based on current HP. The value in terms of that is actually more. And the Awaken effect also now grants Ceodore attack up and stolen max Brave overflow up. Talking about now his C65. His C65 now adds party stolen max Brave overflow up, party gained max Brave overflow up, and party Brave gain up. Now we're going to go ahead and talk about his EX. So his EX, talking about the plus variant, because again, if you're going to be playing Ceodore, generally this is the one that you're going to want to press. His plus variant now deals Holy Brave damage with 5 HP attacks and split HP damage to multiple targets. So this now hits harder. This is his hardest hitting skill outside of his BT, so this is going to be the button that you want to press a lot. It has a normal recast speed, so it's not very hard to reach this upon recast, so you're going to be seeing yourself using this quite often when you're playing as Ceodore. Now his LD also gets a rework in the form of its LD board. It now deals Holy Brave damage with 4 HP attacks, so this is going to be another great hard-hitting skill. Not as hard as its EX, but it's still a good button to press, and it also adds Party Holy Enchant and Party HP damage up to the LD buff when the Party HP thresholds are met. So now he's giving you Party Holy Enchant, and also more ways to deal HP damage to the party as long as you're meeting that 50% or greater HP threshold. Now we're going to go ahead and talk about his brand new weapon, which is going to be the BT. So most BT finishers, you know, they do a cool animation, and it's going to give you like some really cool effect, and we're just going to take a look at it right here. So CEODORE's in particular, I love it because look who joins him in his BT effect. It's none other than Kain, his real dad. Anybody who's played Final Fantasy IV after years will understand that reference, and also as to why people call Piccolo or Kain CEODORE's Piccolo. But yeah, that's the effect right there. Let's let these guys do their thing. So with Kain, let's do this and get CEODORE's turn back. And I'm actually going to go into CEODORE's burst phase so we don't get interrupted here. Okay. Let's go ahead and just C65 first. So we get the Holy Enchant and all that good stuff, and then let's just go right into burst, and we can just talk about the burst effect itself, and also I can show you guys the EX animation and how many hits it does and all that good stuff. So as far as the BT plus effect, assuming that you're going to be greening CEODORE, which if you're going to be using this character, BT plus characters, you generally want full investment. It lasts for 6 turns, and what this does, first of all, is it prevents CEODORE's Awaken effect from decreasing. So his Awaken effect, which is this is generally what you want to press first if you're playing a CEODORE, because you definitely want those additional effects. The only reason why I went into BT Finisher first is because I wanted to show you guys how it looks like. But anyways, BT effect at plus 6 turn duration prevents CEODORE's Awaken effect from decreasing. It gives the party brave damage up. Now, when the party's HP thresholds are met, so that 50% or greater HP threshold, the party is going to get more brave damage up, party stolen max brave overflow up, party HP damage up, and party brave damage cap up. So that's what your party is going to get if CEODORE if the party, is meeting those particular HP requirements. Now let's go ahead and just touch up on his EX here, so you guys get to see it in action. Again, this is going to be his hardest hitting skill outside of his BT. 5 HP dumps. It deals a pretty decent amount of damage. You know, he has some pretty competitive damage. And then this is going to be the LD right over here. You get to see it in action. Nice. And last but not least, let's take a look at his skill 1, because I did praise that a little bit. It now deals 3 HP dumps, which is nice. And again, remember, CEODORE does apply that Holy Imperil as well. I believe it's from his EX debuff, so that is something pretty cool there. That way it's amping up the damage, and if he has the Holy Enchant effect active for the party, then the party is also dealing more damage as well. So some summary and thoughts on CEODORE. He is a fairly versatile unit, being able to apply Elemental, Imperil, Enchant with Holy. He could heal and he could cleanse. He has good damage, especially with his EX and also with his LD. I would say that he's a fairly flexible slot in with other characters. I mean, he's only taking up 1 debuff, and he has, what, 2 buffs for himself and an effect. So he's not really interrupting anything as far as like buffs, debuff wise. And he's going to be enjoyed being paired with characters who can overheal. This is to ensure that you're meeting that 50% or 50% HP or greater. And it's great to have the overheal anyways, because if you're going to be taking him into fights where there's a ton of HP damage going on, having the overheal and having those yellow numbers on everybody's HP ensures that you're going to get his better effects from everything that he brings to his kit. Now, his short BT plus effect duration means you kind of don't want him taking too many turns if you want to take advantage of everything that he brings. So you want to make sure your party's staying healthy, and if you're going to be taking advantage of it, let's say with your actual damage dealers, you're going to make sure he doesn't want to take up too many turns, as it is a pretty short BT duration compared to some other ones. Now, to be completely honest, and it breaks my heart to say this because I do love CEODORE, his design is honestly really clunky. It's still really clunky despite the improvements. I do think that his design is unique because they literally brought over how this character plays from his own game, where he awakens, he turns Super Saiyan, and he gains all this power, but then he drops his HP to like near death afterwards. It's like he can't control his own power. He's a mix of his mom and dad, and he also has the Dark Knight effect. But that kind of a playstyle, in my opinion, doesn't work well in DFFOO's mechanics. I mean, you have a conditional cool effects that you could take advantage of, but it's conditional with HP. It's kind of, I don't know. It's clunky, and to me it doesn't work very well with the way that the combat system and everything is designed for Dissidia Opera Omnia. His short-turn BT plus effect I think is also subpar with today's standards, and it lacks the ever so coveted HP damage cap up. Everybody now loves HP damage cap up. That's why we preach, if you're going to be getting characters and investing, get them to blue so they have the HP damage cap up. Garnet kind of, oh god, Garnet and her no requirement HP damage cap up has just been spoiling everybody. And CEODORE gives, I believe, 60% HP damage up total with everything that he has, including burst, but that's cute, but where's the HP damage cap up that would have been awesome to be paired with that? He doesn't have it. And to be quite honest too, his BT plus, this type of a BT plus would have been better and more under the spotlight if this was released during early BT plus era. If this was released during early BT plus era, I would say it would have been a bit more competitive with what we had then, and it would have been a bit more desirable to invest in versus getting it now where it's just kind of like, I guess, cool. So that's honestly my honest thoughts about CEODORE, but we are in that garbage time phase, so if you are going to be investing in CEODORE and you're going to be taking him into the current content, he's actually going to do fine. He's going to be fine despite his flaws, because we are in that time where content is pretty easy, to be honest, and you can pretty much take anybody as long as you're able to handle the lethal Lufenia orbs. You can take anybody and you can just breeze through content, and CEODORE is a character who, yes, can handle this content despite the flaws that is built into his kit. But this is going to go ahead and conclude my video on CEODORE. Hopefully it helps you guys out. Again, I'm sorry if I offended any Final Fantasy IV fans out there who love this character. I love this character, and it breaks my heart that I gotta be objective, but I just gotta be fair to you guys, because I don't want to preach something that is not true about a character. I just want to give you guys, the straightforward information that you guys are looking for when you watch these videos. Thank you guys again for watching. This is 40 the Broadway Saiyan signing out. Mahal, everyone.